Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another range report. And in today's range report, we're going to be taking a look at another Sig Sauer P-Series pistol. In fact, this model is my favorite Sig, and I think many other people think it is the best Sig, the P226. But the variant of the P226 that we will be taking to the range shooting and reviewing is the Legion SAO, or single action only. Being part of the Legion series, this is kind of their top tier in this gun. It comes from the custom shop, and it does have a custom finish, which, by the way, is a very neutral finish. They call this the Elite Cerakote. It is a dark gray. It is very difficult to take pictures of, especially when it comes to the range. I had a hard time getting the thumbnail photo for this review, and as you can see, it also blends in with my shirt. But pretty much, it is a very neutral color. It does not reflect a lot of light, and so I don't think it's very photogenic. But a lot of people do like this color, and it is the only color that is offered on the Legions, and they do not offer this color on any other tier of any of their guns. Now, this is a single action only variant of this pistol, and I think this gun is marketed to people that like the idea of a 1911 and the manual of arms of a 1911, but don't want a 1911. And I also feel that if you're an old style 1911 shooter, this is a gun you can feel at home with, and it is a little bit more modern, and you can feel like you've updated your collection a little bit without having to relearn anything. So, this is going to be a really cool gun to take to the range and see how it shoots. Some of these Legions in the past I have reviewed very well, and some of them I haven't. So I'm curious how this one is going to perform. But before we get this gun to the range, as always, I want to thank the people that make these videos possible. First and foremost is the owner of this very beautiful pistol. He's a local fan and subscriber named Michael, and I appreciate all of the guns that he has lent to my channel for review because he sure loves his SIGs, and I'm honored to get to shoot another one of them. I always want to thank my Patreon supporters because through their monthly donations and support, they help keep the lights on around here, and I could not do this without their support. And if you want to join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, there's a link in the description below, and you get to see all these videos early. And as always, I want to thank my primary sponsor who provides the ammunition for these range reports and makes them financially feasible for me, my good friend Mark from Brownworks. And yes, here I am reviewing another classic pistol, a gun made of metal, not polymer. And many times guns like this take panel grips, and often wood panel grips. And you might have a collection of guns that also take these style of grips, like Colt 1911s, Beretta 92s, CZ75s, and Browning high powers. And you might be in the market for a set of grips to upgrade your gun or make them special and unique. Well, the grip company you need to check out is Brownworks. Brownworks is a custom grip company, making a wide variety of grips for a wide variety of firearms out of a wide variety of exotic woods and materials. Mark is an artist and a craftsman. He can apply custom logos, custom engravings, custom textures, finish the grips in a wide variety of colors, make his own laminate woods, and even apply exotic materials like snakeskin and alligator skin, making them unique and one of a kind. Every set of grips is made to order, and anything you can imagine, Mark can make. So I'm going to put a link to his website in the comment section below, as well as a coupon code for 10% off your first order. And when you place your order for your first set of custom grips, please tell Mark the Texas Gun Vault sent you. All right, so once again, let's talk about the pistol we have on the workbench today, the Sig Sauer P226 Legion SAO, or single action only. This variant is not the optics ready version, but they do offer one if you like to run red dots. It is finished in the dark gray Elite Cerakote. The material the slide is made out of is stainless steel. The frame is made out of aluminum. It has a 4.4-inch barrel. Its overall length is 8 inches. It is 1.7 inches in width, 5.5 inches in height, and it weighs 34 ounces. Personally, I have always felt the 226 is a very well-balanced gun. Now, before we get this to the range and find out how it shoots, as always, I want to talk about the things that I like and don't like, and I always want to start with the positive first. And the first thing I love about this gun is, yes, it is a 226. As I mentioned in the opening of this video, it's my favorite model that they make. It's just well balanced, chambered in 9mm, double stack with a really good capacity. It has a history of durability and reliability going back to the 1980s. And of course, this is a double stack version of the 220, which came out in 1975 for the SIG Army. So this really has a great heritage to it. And as I mentioned, there are many other variants of this type of gun using the same action in many calibers, and it is just known for its dependability, and it has been used by militaries and police departments all over the world ever since its inception. This variant of the gun also has quite a few features I like an extended beaver tail. Of course, we have a rail out here on the front. We have some front and rear cocking serrations, and being that this gun is single action only, we have a really nice thumb safety that is strongly engaged by a detent. So I really feel like this gun would be safe to carry, cocked and locked. It also has a very nice shape to the front of the trigger. I do like that. Normally, I am not a fan of flat-faced triggers. However, SIG has done a good job by adding this little curve to the bottom. Normally, my finger gets pinched in the trigger guard. However, this prevents me from having that issue. So I can actually tolerate this flat-faced trigger. I do think that is a nice little touch and addresses my biggest concern I've always had with flat-faced triggers. Now, speaking of the trigger, because this gun is single action only and it comes from the custom shop, this is supposed to be a pretty darn nice pull. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the camera, get out the Lyman trigger pull weight gauge, and we're gonna see what this trigger looks like when it's pulled, and we're gonna measure its weight. So let's adjust the camera and do that now. And as I mentioned, this gun does come from the SIG custom shop, and because it is single action only, it's supposed to be really nice. But we're going to test that out. Let's go ahead and drop the magazine, ensure there is no ammunition in it, and of course safety check the firearm and make sure there is no ammunition in the chamber, and it looks like we are good. So now let's take a look at our initial take-up. It's kind of medium long, but it is smooth with no grit. You come back to a definitive wall, and it breaks very clean and very crisp. Then we have our reset, which is very short, and you're right back at that wall. It reminds me a lot of the SIG SRT, or the short reset trigger you would find on the double action, single action variants of this gun. So now let's clear the averages of the Lyman trigger pull weight gauge, and let's test this trigger out. For our first pull, we have 2 pounds, 11.9 ounces. Two pounds, 13.0 ounces. 2 pounds, 14.2 ounces. 2 pounds, 15.1 ounces. And finally, we have 2 pounds, 14.0 ounces, which gives us an average of 2 pounds, 13.6 ounces. That is a pretty darn light trigger pull, but because this does have a thumb safety and it is designed as a single action trigger pull, I don't feel that that is too light or unsafe. So that's what this trigger is all about. So now let's talk about a couple things about this gun that I don't like. And to no one's surprise, as it sits here on the workbench, there's absolutely nothing about it I don't like. It just seems to be a well-built pistol. I love all of the features of it. I don't see anything wrong with it. It just fits my hand so well, and that trigger is so nice. So I guess now it's time to take it to the range and find out how it shoots. So as always, when it comes to a pistol, I will start off at 7 yards. I'll put a magazine through this, and I just want to document my first shots and experiences with this gun. See what I discover, and I'll come back here to the garage and tell you what I found out. So let's go to the range and see if this gun is as accurate as everyone claims it is. And so is this gun accurate? You bet it is. It's shooting great. I'm very happy with this result. And this is very refreshing because two of the pistols that I have recently reviewed have been SIGs, and I've struggled with the accuracy with both. One was a P220 Legion and the other was a P229 Combat. And I've mentioned in the past that often I shoot SIGs very low. Some people say SIGs are designed to have something called the combat hold. Essentially, you put the front dot above the rear notch and above the dots in the back. But this one seems to be right on. Now, I did do some research, and this particular gun is set up with something called the X-ray sights, which are different than the SIG Light night sights. So maybe that has something to do with it. They look the same to me. They are really nice, and you can see them well, but they are dead on. I am very impressed with this gun. The only thing negative I could say about this first experience is that it seems to be a little bit more snappier than some of the other SIG P226s I have reviewed recently, like the Mark 25. Why that is, I can't tell you. I just feel like it has a little bit more recoil impulse. All right, so now let's go back to the range. We're going to double the distance of this target, and I'm going to shoot for the head on this IDPA silhouette, and hopefully this accuracy is going to continue. And pretty much that mirrors my first experiences with this gun. It is very accurate, it's easy to shoot, very comfortable, and it's naturally pointing. This is a fantastic and well-balanced pistol in my hands. All right, so the next test I want to do is take the target out to 25 yards. So far, this gun has been exceptionally accurate, so hopefully I'm going to continue to get an amazing group at the furthest distance at this range, and if I take as much of the human element out of the equation as possible. So let's go back to the range, put another magazine through to 25 yards, and see how good I can shoot it at this distance. And at 25 yards using iron sights, I'm not going to argue about that group at all. I am very impressed with this gun. I can't even see where those rounds are impacting the target when I'm at the range. So to get that group, all I can say is I'm very impressed with this gun. It might be the most accurate SIG pistol I have ever reviewed, and I'm really impressed I'm getting these results without a red dot. Alright, so the next test I want to do is see if hollow points run in this gun reliably. After all, somebody might buy this gun as a do-all gun, a range gun, a target gun, maybe a home defense gun. And if you use it for that application, you're going to want to know, will it run hollow points effectively? Will it be reliable? So let's go back to the range, check this gun with some hollow points, see if the accuracy continues, and if I discover anything else about this gun that I want to report back to you about. So let's go back to the range. And as expected, this pistol ran great with hollow points. The only thing I noticed was one of the rounds had a strange ejection. All of the rest were consistent and strong. So that was probably more of an ammunition issue than a firearm issue. But I had no failures to feed, failures to eject, or failures to extract. Alright, so the last test I want to do is a 3-in-1 test. I want to, number one, see, can I shoot this gun fast? Hopefully with this really nice trigger, I will be able to. Number two, I want to know if in a self-defense scenario, can you drop the magazine, get a fresh one in there, and get the gun back in action without much effort? And number three, I want to know, is this gun point shootable? And I always want to test this because as much as people want to imagine what a self-defense scenario would be like, in actuality, you might only have time to pull your gun from the holster and point it at the target that you're trying to stop. And you're not going to have the ability to look down those sights and line up everything. I just want to know, can I just point shoot this gun well and have it still be accurate? So let's go back to the range and test these three things out. And honestly, I'm really excited to see how fast I can shoot it with this awesome trigger. So let's find out how I do. And so let's break the results of this test down. Number one, can I shoot this gun fast? You betcha. It's a really nice trigger. Number two, can I change these magazines out quickly? Yeah, for the most part I can. However, there is not much beveling and no magwell or jet funnel to this gun. So I really recommend trying to change the magazines out and reinsert them without looking at the pistol. Some guns are easier to do this with. And if you're going to carry a gun, I recommend testing this and practicing this, because if you're in a self-defense scenario, you might have to keep your eyes on the threat. If you take your eyes off the threat to change that magazine out, it might put you in a precarious situation. And number three, is this gun point shootable? Yeah, this gun is very accurate when I'm using the sights, and it's accurate when I'm not. All of those rounds were on the target. I'm very impressed with this firearm. So what are my final thoughts on the Sig P226 Legion SAO? This is absolutely a great pistol. It might be the most accurate SIG pistol I have ever reviewed. It has given me a very consistent performance. It's very well balanced, comfortable to shoot. The only thing I might want to try out with a gun like this is the optics cut version. This is just running iron sights and you have no options for a red dot, but having a red dot option might make this gun even better. But I absolutely love it as it sits. I am a big fan of iron sights, and I think a good marksman should be able to use them well. So on my star system, how would I rate the Sig Sauer P226 Legion single action only? Yeah, you guessed it, this gun is getting 5 out of 5 stars. I found nothing about this gun that didn't work well for me or just didn't function right. This gun is absolutely outstanding. It's well built, it's attractive, and it just runs, and it's so accurate for me. So what do you guys think? Do you like the P226? And what do you think of the Legion tier of SIG pistols? Do they shoot as good for you as this one did for me? Tell me in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.